Okay, so right now I'm going to model the process of crafting an evaluative thesis statement, and I'm going to use an example from my own life of when I was recently looking for a new couch. What I was looking for in a couch, this would be what I would call my criteria. I was looking for something that would have lots of seating where, if we had a whole other family coming over, or if my sister and her kids were, her whole family was coming, that we could all sit comfortably on the same sofa in our living room. I needed for this, I knew I wanted a sectional couch, but it needed to be a good fit for the room. I needed to be able to turn it in order to maximize the space. So I needed it to be angled a certain way to fit to maximize our space. Of course, you want comfort when you're looking for furniture. You want it to be able to be um, just furniture that everybody's happy to sit on, everybody's comfortable. Um, Durability. That was an important thing for me because the furniture that I was replacing, I had only had for about 4 or 5 years before it kind of started to fall apart. It just did not hold up to the demands of active family life. And of course, I wanted a color that would be complementary to my home and would be, something that I was happy to have and that I felt complemented my style and design. So enter the Ikea Soderhamn. Here's a picture of the Soderhamn in my house with my son kind of chilling and relaxing on it. That's what we have now. So now that we own this couch, I want to be able to think through how the reality of having it matches the criteria that I was looking for going in. So here's the specs of the Soderhamn. Now, some of this I was able to research before I even bought it. I knew it would see 8 to 10 people comfortably. We were able to sit in it in the store and see that we could sit at least 8 people, if not more, really comfortably on the couch. I looked through the range of color options and found one that was just the perfect color for what I was looking for. It's dry cleanable, which means that if we spill something on it, we're not looking at calling in a professional to come and to try to clean it. Every single cushion is able to be unzipped. You can take the case right off, every cushion and every pillow, and you can take it to the dry cleaner and have it cleaned. It also has custom configuration, which means if we go back to this picture, you can see this corner section here, that can be completely lifted right out and put somewhere, even in a different room, and it can be just a little corner chair, which would leave this here as a little love seat. And this here, this piece is longer, and that could be the size of a traditional couch. All of these pieces could be moved around the house. They could be turned different ways. It's completely reconfigurable. So if we were to move or if we were just wanting to redesign, we would have lots of options with the Soderhamn. So at that point, that's how it measures up as far as the specifications. Now, most of those you notice are pretty positive. However, downsides. Minor comfort issues, which means that I find it to be really comfortable if a whole bunch of people are kind of gathering to kind of lounge around for the night, stack up the pillows, move them all around, hunker down to watch TV. It can be really comfortable. It's so deep, the seating is so deep that you can lay down on it, almost doubles as a bed really well. So it's a really good kind of lounging couch. But let's say you have some people over and it's more of a formal situation and everybody's just kind of sitting up and conversing more formally. That's when some people report that it's not as comfortable as they'd like. The back is pretty low, so you don't have a lot of really good back support. So the comfort is kind of a yes and a no. It's yes in certain situations and no in other situations. Also, this picture here, this is how it tends to look at the end of the day. The Soderhamn, for whatever reason, just invites people to come in and camp out and toss the pillows around. In fact, pillow-wise, it's usually much worse than this. You usually have, the pillows just stacked up in a heap or piled up lots of different ways. So it's hard to, and because we're looking at, every single place, there's 8 different pillows, big and small pillows. So that's a lot of pillows to be tossed about, and everything is just designed to be here and there. So to be movable easily. So it really is hard to keep it looking like it did in the picture here. That's kind of the ideal situation. There's the everyday reality. So then, considering the good and considering the bad, we have to ask ourselves, how does the Soderhamn measure up? When we want to compare it again to this list of criteria, this is the standard, this is what I was looking for, and this is the reality, and this is the reality. So we have to take all that into consideration and say, how overall does the Soderhamn measure up? So I took a shot at a thesis statement. This is what I would call a working thesis. This is my first pass through, and that means if I were developing this paper, I may find stronger ways to word things. I may move some things around, but this is my working thesis. I would say that Ikea Soderhamn offers roomy, sustainable, and configurable seating solutions, although not without some minor concessions in upkeep and comfort. This thesis shows what we call balance, and overall, it's good. Most of these things are great. We've got a couple of things that aren't as great here. We have some minor concessions in upkeep, minor concessions when it comes to comfort, but the bulk of the paper is going to be about these really great parts of the Soderhamn. Something I may choose to do if I were to develop this is I might flip this around a little bit. I might want, since the negative is minor, I might just choose to get that out of the way early, and I might say something like, despite some minor concessions in upkeep and comfort, IKEA's Soderhamn offers roomy, sustainable, and configurable seating solutions. These are choices that you can make, but this would be my working thesis. This would be my starting point. This is where I want us all to be by the time we get to class tomorrow, and I want you to go ahead and go back to our website, download the evaluation thesis builder page, and go through the same process that I just modeled for you here with your product or CD or book or movie or whatever it is. List your criteria, list the realities, compare it, and then come up with a thesis statement. And we will discuss this tomorrow in class. See you then. Bye-bye.